Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi my dear student, are you okay today all? Me, your teacher, Bu Siti Mariam and Bu Asih Triwulan today would like to give you your unit 4 of material subject in English Wajib, Analytical Exposition. I do hope that you are all will be in best condition today, and you have also higher motivation of studying. Okay, dear, I would like to give you this material subject of analytical exposition. Of course, I would like you to start with your praying first. Let's pray together with your own religious start. Finish. Okay, thank you, student. We start our material subject today, that is analytical exposition. We prepare this material subject, of course, with Bu Asih Triwulan as your teacher. Okay, analytical exposition first. We come to the competence standard of you. To understand the meaning of functional on written text and the context of daily life. So, after studying this text, students are expected to be able to make a simple analytical exposition. This is your competence standard. I repeat once more. Your competence standard is to understand the meaning of functional on written text in the context of daily life. So, after studying this text, students are expected to be able to make a simple analytical exposition. The next, we study about your social function and purpose of learning this analytical exposition. The social function first, that is, to persuade reader or listener that something is the case and it is an important thing to consider. Can you understand, dear student, that the social function of the text of analytical exposition is to persuade readers or listeners that something is the case and it is an important thing to consider. If you are not understand about this and need to make note, please try to prepare your notebook and try to write it. I repeat once more. Social function of the text analytical exposition is to persuade readers or listeners that something is the case and it is an important thing to consider. Have you finished to write down? Yeah, we continue to purpose of learning. The purpose of learning an analytical exposition, the first, to improve students' knowledge about the analytical exposition itself. The first, to improve students' knowledge about the analytical exposition itself. The second, to train the students' ability on identifying the specific information in the text. The second, to train the student ability on identifying the specific information of the text or in the text. Okay, we continue to the analytical exposition definition. Do you understand what I mean? Definition means pengertiannya tentang analytical exposition. So, I would like to translate after giving the definition in English. The analytical exposition definition is An analytical exposition is a type of a spoken or written text that is intended to persuade the listeners or readers that something is the case, or it is said to be the facts. Once more, definition of analytical exposition. An analytical exposition is a type of spoken or written text that is intended to persuade the listeners or readers that something is the case. Surely it is showing the fact. Anak-anak bisa memahami apa yang dimaksudkan pengertian dari analytical exposition. Baiklah, analytical exposition itu adalah jenis teks atau materi lisan dalam bahasa Inggris yang digunakan untuk menjelaskan pandangan penulis mengenai suatu hal atau sebuah isu. Dan pandangan itu tentunya berbentuk fakta karena memang itulah yang terjadi. Nanti ada pembandingnya dengan hortatory exposition, ya. Jadi kalian nanti akan saya jelaskan juga sedikit tentang hortatory exposition di materi kalian nanti di semester 2. Kita cuplik sedikit gitu. I would like to explain you little bit about the hortatory exposition as the comparison of your analytical exposition itself. Okay, you should make note about this. An analytical exposition, to make persuasion stronger, the speaker or writer give some arguments as the fundamental reasons why something is the case. Second, these types of text can be found in the specific book. I repeat once more. This type of text can be found in the scientific book, not specific but scientific book, journals, magazines, newspaper articles, academic speech or lectures, research report, and etc. This type of text about analytical exposition can be found in the scientific books, journals, magazines, newspaper, articles, academic speech or lectures, research report, and etc. And then the third note, analytical exposition are popular among science, academic community, and educated people. Anak-anak yang harus Anda pahami bahwa analytical exposition itu biasa ditemui di jurnal, artikel, buku-buku yang berbau ilmiah, perkuliahan, pembelajaran resmi di dalam kelas, laporan-laporan, dan sebagainya. Berita-berita yang masuk aktual dan faktual. Analytical exposition itu juga terkenal di kalangan orang-orang terpelajar atau academic community. Selanjutnya, yang disampaikan sebagai argumen dalam analytical exposition itu sangat kuat karena bentuknya adalah fakta, dan itulah yang harus disampaikan kepada pembaca atau pendengar. We continue to the next point. Comparing with hortatory exposition, just now I said to you, a hortatory exposition can be defined as a type of spoken or written text that is intended to persuade the readers or listeners that something should be the case. Not is the case, but should be the case. Is the case saying the fact, but should be the case saying opinion. And then note, hortatory exposition persuades the readers to do something by doing the suggested idea. This is the difference between analytical and hortatory. I repeat once more. Hortatory exposition persuades reader to do some things by doing the suggested idea. But for the analytical one, Analytical exposition serves reiteration, showing the facts, while hortatory serves recommendation, showing opinion. Anak-anak memahami enggak kira-kira artinya? Kalau hortatory exposition itu mengajak supaya pembaca yakin atas apa yang dikerjakan sesuai dengan saran yang ada di dalam teks. Jadi mereka harus melakukan yang ada di dalam teks itu untuk dilakukan sebagai penawaran. Sedangkan analytical ya memang itulah faktanya yang disampaikan. Nah, jadi kalau hortatory adalah opini, sementara analytical exposition itu adalah fakta. Ya, can you understand about this? Ya, I say in English. For the second point, analytical exposition serve reiteration, showing fact, while hortatory serve recommendation, showing opinion. Yeah, we continue to the generic structure of the text. Anak-anak paham yang dimaksud generic structure of the text itu adalah susunan teks. Susunan teks dalam analytical exposition, in English you can say here the first is thesis. Thesis introducing topic and indicating writer's position. Saya berikan terjemah di bawahnya, kira-kira anak-anak sudah memahami ya pokok permasalahan dan pandangan penulis tentang apa yang disampaikan di dalam teks. This is the thesis one, introducing the topic and indicating the writer's position, of course about the focus of the text. And then second, arguments. What is actually argument? Argument explaining the fact to support the main idea and the writer's position, yakni penjelasan rinci tentang pokok permasalahan dan pandangan penulis tentang permasalahan dalam teks. I repeat once more, argument explaining the fact to support the main idea and the writer's position. Artinya bahwa argument itu isinya adalah penjelasan rinci tentang pokok permasalahan dan pandangan penulis tentang permasalahan dalam teks. Anak-anak, ini sedikit kesalahan, saya menulisnya permasalahan, ya, kurang an di belakang. Yeah, we continue for the third. Generic structure of the third here is reiteration or conclusion. You can also say reiteration or you can say also by conclusion. This means that reiteration is restatement of speakers or writer's position about something that's said in the text. Jadi anak-anak, reiteration atau conclusion itu adalah penegasan kembali tentang ide pokok dan pandangan penulis yang disampaikan dalam permasalahan yang ada di dalam teks. Jadi bentuk fakta itu ada pada reiterationnya dan argumen serta tesis yang disampaikan. Semuanya signifikan dan bisa dipertanggungjawabkan kebenarannya. Itu adalah text analytical exposition. Okay, we continue. The language feature. Anak-anak paham sih yang dimaksud language feature itu apa? Actually, this will give the characteristic of the text. Ini menjelaskan tentang ciri-ciri teks itu. Ya, language feature adalah tentang grammatical structure yang ada di dalam teks. The first type of present tense. Jadi di dalam analytical exposition kalian akan menemukan tenses yang berbentuk waktu kini atau present tense. Bisa dibayangkan ya, present tense itu subjek plus kata kerja bentuk pertama, itu dalam verbal. Kalau nominal subjek plus tepi, tepinya adalah present, is, am, or are, plus barangkali adjektif atau adverb atau complement. Dinamakan nominal berarti tidak punya kata kerja. Verbal berarti ada kata kerjanya. Lebih mudah menganalisa pada present verbal karena ada kata kerjanya, berarti kata kerja bentuk pertama. Tetapi kalau Nominal, kalian menganalisanya dari tepinya. Tepinya harus salah satu dari di antara is, am, atau are sesuai dengan subjek. Kalau I berarti am, you berarti are, they berarti are, he berarti is, she berarti is, it berarti is juga. Bisa dibayangkan kan ya? Ya, we continue upon the next language feature. Using temporal connectives or conjunctions like first, second, third, next, furthermore, additionally, and etc. Jadi ciri selanjutnya menggunakan connectives temporal yang menyatakan apa? Langkah atau tahapan. Like seperti first, second, third, next, furthermore, additionally, and etc. Anak-anak sudah paham kan artinya? First pertama, second kedua, dan seterusnya. Next selanjutnya, furthermore apa? Seterusnya atau selanjutnya atau berikutnya. Additionally dan selanjutnya. And then third, yang ketiga, using causal conjunction as causal conjunction sebab akibat ya. Contohnya as a result, because, by, consequently, despite, due to, for that reason, dan sebagainya. Coba anak-anak nanti dicari pemahamannya dalam kamus, pengertiannya apa sih as a result, because, by, consequently, despite, due to, for that reason ya. Tugas kalian itu. And then the fourth, using some evaluative words as importantly, valuably, trustworthily, and etc. Menggunakan kata-kata evaluative yang artinya menyatakan bahwa itu adalah ilmiah, tidak opini tetapi fakta. Yakni importantly, yang terpenting, valuably, penilaiannya, trustworthily, dan sebagainya. And then number 5, using technical or scientific terms such as ya, kalau scientific or technical term tergantung bidangnya apa. Education misalnya, anak-anak using istilah-istilah seperti apa kira-kira, akademik, semester, and so on ya. Itu adalah istilah teknik ya. And then using passive form, menggunakan kalimat pasif ya. Rata-rata bentuk pasif itu sering dipakai. Kenapa? Penekanan pada bentuk fakta. Karena pasif itu subjek dikenai pekerjaan. Kalau di bahasa Indonesia dia terdapat kata kerja yang diberikan imbuhan di atau ter. Itu penekanan terhadap fakta. Ya, we continue. This is the example of present tense ya. The formula will be subject plus verb one. Itu untuk verbal. Nominal tadi sudah saya berikan gambaran memakai tepi is, am, atau are tergantung subjeknya. Ya, I think you can write down this example ya. I personally think that English is the world's most important language. Bentuk present bisa diketahui dari kata kerja bentuk pertama, think. Itu sudah cukup ya. Kata kunci. Think di situ diambil kata kerja pertama. Gitu ya. Sudah cukup menulisnya. We continue to the next. Using temporal, connective, and causal conjunction, evaluative words and technical term. Nah, ini contoh-contohnya anak-anak. Firstly misalnya, secondly ya, itu adalah temporal connective. Ini tak berikan contoh di teks kalian, itu adalah English is important. Nah, nanti di teks kalian ada bagian-bagian kalimat yang berbunyi seperti ini. Firstly, English is an international language ya. Secondly, English is also the key. bla bla bla, and etc. Nanti tolong dicek di contoh teks yang saya berikan di slide berikutnya ya. Causal conjunction sekarang. The causal conjunction, the example is, therefore we can say that corruption becomes our culture. I give you the example also about the text of corruption in Indonesia. Therefore is one of the causal conjunction, the example. And then technical term. The technical term like the local courts, knowledge, scientific, economic, academic, and so on. Itu adalah istilah-istilah ilmiah atau istilah teknik sesuai dengan bidang yang dibahas di dalam teks analytical exposition. Next, using passive form. I said to you that passive having formula subject plus be in present tense plus verb in the third form, and then plus the other. For example, it is spoken by many people all around the world, either as a first or second language. Itu contoh di English is important pada teks English is important. Nanti Anda temukan kalimat yang berbunyi it is spoken by many people all around the world, either as the first or the second language. Student, it itu adalah subjeknya, is itu adalah be in present, spoken verb in the third form. By many people itu adalah objek pelaku. Kalau dipasifkan, subjek dikenai pekerjaan oleh objek pelakunya. Kata kerja adalah tindakannya. All around the world itu adalah penjelas dari by many people. Either as first or second language itu adalah keterangan baik sebagai bahasa pertama atau bahasa yang kedua di dunia, begitu. And then second, English is also the key which opens doors to scientific and technical knowledge, which is needed for the economic and political development of many countries in the world. Anak-anak, pasifnya terdapat di mana? Pada second sentence. Which is needed for the economic and political development of many countries in the world. Which-nya adalah relative clauses as subject, is-nya to be, needed diperlukan, sehingga this will be in passive form. Ingat, di bahasa Indonesia passive itu kata kerjanya diberikan imbuhan di atau ter, yang artinya subjeknya dikenai pekerjaan. Can you understand? We continue. This is the example of the importance of English as your example of analytical exposition. This is the passage. I personally think that English is the world's most important language. Why I say that? And then argument 1, because argument sometimes there is more than one. There is argument more than one. Thesis, argument, and conclusion or reiteration. Tadi kita mengatakan bisa conclusion, bisa reiteration kamu menyebutnya. And then the arguments can be more than one. Tesisnya adalah ini, argumentnya adalah firstly, English is an international language. It is spoken by many people around the world. It is spoken by many people around the world, either as a first or second language. Itu adalah argumentasi yang pertama, berarti lebih dari satu. Argument in the second, secondly, English also the key which open doors to scientific and technical knowledge, which is needed for the economical and political development of many countries in the world. Argument yang kedua. And then continued by the argument in the third. Thirdly, dan sebagainya sampai then those who do not itu ending dari argument yang ketiga. And then conclusion. From the fact above, anak-anak tadi sudah dinyatakan bahwa ada ungkapan-ungkapan evaluative. From the fact above, as the fact above, dan sebagainya. It is obviously that, itu juga evaluative word, ya, sebagai conclusionnya. Okay, we continue to the example of the text. Example-nya adalah corruption in Indonesia culture. Anak-anak bisa screenshot lalu bisa memahami artinya. Ini tadi yang saya berikan contoh, corruption and Indonesian culture. Corruption itu adalah korupsi, and Indonesian culture dan budaya Indonesia. Nah, budaya ini akhirnya mempengaruhi hukum kan ya, nanti di dalam teks akan dibunyikan begitu. Tesisnya adalah corruption up to for 3 reasons. Jadi kalau di situ for 3 reasons, anak-anak berarti ada argumen lebih dari satu, kan 3 reasons ya. Ya, argumen yang kedua adalah ini, argumen yang ketiga adalah ini, lalu reiteration dan conclusionnya ini. Sudah, saya kira kalian bisa membaca dengan jelas, bisa menampilkan sendiri ya. Nah, jadi saya ulang lagi, argumen yang pertama setelah tesis, most ideal of Indonesia, nanti coba dicari di internet, ada ya bacaan seperti ini, kita ambilnya dari berita ya. Kemudian argument 2 ya, the action of eliminate, jadi argument 1 tadi didukung oleh penjelasan argument 2 yang memperkuat, lalu didukung juga argumen yang ketiga, and then reiterationnya adalah simpulan ya. Conclusion, based on the reason we can conclude that corruption is becoming a bad culture in Indonesia if it is not ended. Nah, ini kan ketemu juga kalimat pasif seperti tadi yang saya tunjukkan, it is not ended ya. Ada subjeknya it, ada tepinya is, bentuknya adalah negatif, it is not tidak, ended diakhiri, berarti bentuk pasif. Terbukti di dalam teks analytical exposition ada bentuk pasif ya. Present tense banyak di situ ya. Oke. We continue to the worksheet for you lah student. This is the worksheet ya. Open your module of English ya. Module of English grade 11 on page 89 to 90. You will find the text with a title of important of reading. Kalau tadi saya berikan contoh important of language, sekarang di modul kalian itu ada teks yang berjudul important of reading. Anak-anak tolong nanti ini dipahami lalu dikerjakan tugasnya ya. Your exercises of the analytical exposition here is do this exercise based on the text above, itu artinya kerjakanlah ini sesuai dengan informasi yang ada di dalam teks. First question, what sort of text is it? Ini teks jenis apa toh? Nah, sort of text itu sama dengan what kind of the text. The second, write the purpose of the text above. Tulislah tujuan teks di atas. Berarti tujuan teks apa? The importance of reading. Ya. Write the structure of the text and show the sentences in it. Anak-anak tolong tuliskan structure of the text, itu sama dengan generic structure of the text tadi. Berarti apa? Thesis, argument, dan reiteration atau conclusionnya. Ditunjukkan pada kalimat yang mana? Anak-anak tolong tuliskan ya. Nah, and then the fourth, is there any temporal connectives in the text? Sorry, ini saya ketik ya, connectives in the text, bukan it the text ya. And then mention them if there is. Sebutkanlah jika ada. Anak-anak, it di sini adalah in ya, in the text. Sorry, maafkanlah saya. And then 5, write the pattern of the following sentences. Anak-anak tuliskanlah pattern sentence, itu pola kalimat, subjeknya mana, verbnya mana, begitu ya. Another reason reading can give us pleasure too. Nah, itu pola kalimat tenses apa? Tadi sudah kita sebutkan ya. Lalu polanya subjeknya mana, predikatnya mana, kata keterangannya mana, begitu. Bisa dimengerti ya? Ya. Ending this lesson, student, if you want to ask question, please wapri me with my number of my handphone that you have in your group, ya, ending by 177. 081 232 88 4177. Once more, if you are having difficulty on studying it, please try to wapri me by sending your message, ya, asking question and other on my handphone with my number 081 232 88 4177. Okay, thank you student for your attention today. I do hope that you will understand my explanation today. Yeah, please try to do your duty too. And of course, you should make photo in it and then send to your Google Classroom. So I would like you, if you don't join your Google Classroom, please try to have your link and then please try to join, because not all of you for the IPS 1, 2, 3 and 4 joining your Google Classroom. Also, if you find difficulty with the material for IPA 11, IPA 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, please ask me by sending your wapri on my number just now, or maybe you can also ask to Bu Asih Triwulan. And then please try to make photograph of your doing work, your worksheet, the answer. Please make photo and then send to the Google Classroom of your class with Bu Asih Triwulan for IPA, for IPS to me. Okay, thank you very much. I do hope you will be in best condition and higher motivation of studying. See you next meeting. Love you too much. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.